Good morning. It is 6 o'clock. Thanks so much for joining us here on THV 11 Morning News, streaming on your TV with THV 11 Plus. I'm Hayden Balgavy. Karen is off today, but meteorologist Tracy Bean is getting us ready for this heat that is moving in, and Ashley King joining us for a check of the roads. Hopefully, don't get too hot, don't get too flustered. Take your time out there, but it's going to be bad.
Yeah, and heat kind of makes some people a little bit more annoyed.
Yeah,
So,
on the roads,
yeah.
right.
Oh, yeah, I become completely useless when it's hot like this. I just don't want to move.
Today's not a good day for the farm truck because what
No.
is it with the farm
yeah,
truck?
so my farm truck, if the air conditioning's fine as long as you're moving. But if
Ah.
I have to stop in traffic or slow down a little bit, it gets a little hot.
Not a
So,
farm truck day.
Yeah, not driving the farm truck today. That's the good news. So I'll stay cool. Hope you do too. We are going to see those temperatures continue to rise. We do have a weather impact alert today for that extreme heat. So let's talk about that. It just looks a little muggy and a little hot. It's hot out there, Ashley, already. You came a little bit. Yeah, it's already. We've certainly seen that. We've got humidity around 84% and the winds at least are moving around a little bit, 79 in central Arkansas. And we are looking again for those impact to be right around 100 degrees for the state, give or take. And the heat index, again, 110, give or take. But it's going to continue to grow and maybe even be a bit higher than that tomorrow. So all the things, again, to make sure you're staying safe and staying smart for this heat. We're going to continue to watch out for those around us as well. Heat advisory for a good portion of the state in that peach color. And then, of course, we have the extreme heat warning for central and eastern Arkansas. Right now, we are looking for that high today right around 99, but we could easily bump up into that 100-degree mark. And we don't necessarily need to, but we could. Still going to see, again, that heat index going into around 112, maybe even 113. And tomorrow, I think tomorrow we will see those temperatures going up, and that means the heat index value is going to go up. So Ashley, it's going to be hot today and tomorrow. So hopefully everyone just able to stay cool out on the roadways.
Yeah, right now maybe you could roll the windows down just a little bit and get some fresh air, and there's not anything that's going to slow you down, so you can get going and feel that breeze because we have very light volume at 6:02. There's just not a lot of people out right now, as you can see with the Big Rock interchange here. This is Interstate 430 and 630, and looking at our live traffic map, still in the green, so we'll keep checking and update you here in just a little bit.
We start this hour with a crime alert in Hot Springs, where Garland County deputies are investigating an overnight shooting that sent several people to the hospital. Deputies responding to reports of gunfire just after 2 a.m. Sunday at the Underboss Umbrella nightclub, formerly known as Boss Hogs. Investigators say an altercation broke out before shots were fired. Several people were hurt in the incident, but their injuries are not life-threatening. The investigation remains active as deputies work to determine what led to the shooting. We'll continue to follow this story and share any new details as they develop. Little Rock police are investigating this morning after gunfire broke out Saturday at a family and friends gathered to remember 18-year-old Dylan Cheater. It happened near Fellowship Christian Church just south of I-30 while Cheater's funeral was underway. Investigators are working to determine whether it was connected to the funeral or was a separate incident. Cheater was one of two people shot near Asher Avenue on the 4th of July. He died later from his injuries, and police arrested 20-year-old Charles McCrary, charging him with capital murder in Cheater's death. Top administration officials say the U.S. is still willing to negotiate with Iran, even as both sides traded more strikes overnight. President Trump says the very latest U.S. attacks were carried out in response to the recent deaths of several American service members in the Middle East. CBS News correspondent Michael George has the latest.
President Trump celebrated the World Cup final, but hours after he handed the winner's trophy to Spain, the Pentagon announced that U.S. forces had completed a 9th straight day of strikes on Iran.
We hit them very hard again.
The president told reporters the strikes were, quote, in honor of U.S. service members killed in recent days. The Pentagon says at least 2 were killed while defending against Iranian attacks in Jordan, and a 3rd was killed during the controlled detonation of a downed Iranian drone in Iraq.
We feel very badly, but you know, those great people, those great patriots were out there fighting that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Iran says it responded with more strikes on U.S. targets in the neighboring countries Monday, while the British military says a tanker near Oman had caught fire the same day. Iran's supreme leader is warning that the U.S. will learn, quote, unforgettable lessons if attacks persist. On Iranian state TV, the country's foreign minister said the U.S. cannot bribe or threaten Tehran and described the Strait of Hormuz as Iran's real atomic bomb.
The straits are supposed to be open, free of tolls, free of attack.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio insists the U.S. is still open to diplomacy.
We've tried multiple times with Iran, and we'll continue to try if that door opens.
But he adds that as long as Iran launches attacks, the U.S. will respond. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Over the weekend, President Trump urged Republicans to add Iran to a Russia sanctions bill now before Congress. In a social media post, the president said the move would honor what late Senator Lindsey Graham would have wanted. Gas prices climbing once again, and drivers are already feeling it. AAA reports the national average for a gallon of regular gas has jumped to $4. That is up 13 cents in the past week. Here in Arkansas, the average is now $3.61 a gallon, an increase of 16 cents in just 1 week. Economists also warn higher fuel costs could keep inflation elevated as businesses pass those added expenses on to consumers.
Well, the consumers reflect on higher gas prices or higher food prices and inflation and things like that, and are worried about it. What you see is, especially the middle third of households and the top third of households by income, their spending is growing faster.
The increase is hitting just as millions of Americans hit the road and take to the skies for peak summer travel. Ship traffic through the Strait of Hormuz has slowed very sharply, while crude oil prices have climbed about 10% over the past week. The Little Rock School District is closer to deciding who will attend its new West High School when it opens in the fall of next year. School leaders are now weighing two different boundary options that could impact families across the district. Carter Thweet breaks down what's being considered.
Well, behind me is construction work on Little Rock's newest high school. But who's actually going to go there? That's what district leaders are trying to figure out.
Super excited about the work that is already happening for West High that's going to open next fall.
Stephen Helmick will serve as principal when Little Rock West High School opens in the fall of 2027. Currently, Little Rock has 2 school zones for Central and Southwest High, but that will become 3.
To me, this is such an easy decision.
Helmick favors boundary option 2, where West would take more of Southwest Little Rock from Central High. He says racial diversity is a key factor.
When I see anywhere from 40% African American, 40% white, 10% to 12% Hispanic, and then the rest of Indian Asian, that gets me excited. As not only a principal, but also as a parent that has kids within the district, because I'm like, that's the real world.
Under option 1, West's enrollment would be predominantly white. One board member said she's heard from people in Midtown Little Rock who want to stay at Central High. The superintendent responded.
I think we have to acknowledge that people, some families and folks who live in Central's boundary now won't be. And there is nothing we can do about that, because the boundary as it exists right now is just not equitable and it's just not fair.
And while the school may not be open till next year, Dr. Wright says the final zoning decision needs to be made soon.
I would say by the end of August, we need to make a decision.
In Little Rock, Carter Thweet, THV 11 News.
Carter, thank you. The board also weighed how West High should open with all 4 grades, or starting with just freshmen and sophomores. A full launch could create staffing challenges, but it would also allow the school to offer more classes right away. Well, let's go to our scientist, meteorologist Tracy Bean, breaking down the forecast for you. And simple, it's hot.
Yeah, it's going to be hot. We are going to again see these temperatures go to that extreme heat warning level today and tomorrow. We started this around 9 a.m. because I wanted to show you, even this morning when it's 87, it's going to feel like 98. So we're going to reach that 100-degree feels like forecast mark here before we know it. Looking for that high today right around 99, and heat index around 112 degrees. Now tomorrow even warmer. looking to hit that 100. We'll see. Again, very, very close today. We're going to see some hundreds, I imagine, across the state today and tomorrow, and that feels like forecast tomorrow is going to be right around 113 degrees, so very warm. Make sure, again, you are just staying safe, staying hydrated, keeping an eye on each other. Don't forget about our pets as well. We're going to start to see those temperatures going down just a little bit as we're heading into Wednesday. 97 doesn't feel like cooler, but by Thursday, certainly going to see temperatures down.